Welcome back to today's episode of Tabletop Review, and we're going to be going over the ZPAP M92, or commonly referred to as ZPAP 92. Now, as a precursor to this video, I have been always an AR man, always. Marine Corps M16A4, I've always appreciated the velocity of that round, the accuracy of it, especially out of 16-inch or longer barrels. Not to say, your shorter, your SBRs, they have their place. But I've always appreciated it for that factor. And that being said, buddy of mine, he has a Romanian AK, and over many range trips throughout the past couple of years, he's let me shoot it, and I put mags through it, and I'm not going to lie, I come to like it. So, went to a Fort Worth gun show, I saw this with a Cerakote, and I had to pick it up, bought it, and absolutely love it. And I should have gotten AKs a long time ago. So, all that being said, let's get into it. Now, to start off with, it did originally come with the classic rose red handguards on it. And that alone just called my beautiful gun beautiful, just beautiful. But I didn't like it for certain reasons. I try to make it like an AR because I like my AFG4 grips from Magpul. I find them very useful. So I went ahead and kitted this thing out and try to make it as functional as I can comparatively to your run-of-the-mill AR with M-LOK or Picatinny rails. So let's dive on in. So we're going from bottom to top. So on the back end here, you got a Midwest Industries tail hook on here. It's all steel, all metal. And it used to have I believe it was an SBA3 brace on it, which I found with the recoil of the 7.62 to be a little flimsy. Every time I would shoot it, it would be somewhat flimsy. I could feel it give a little bit, or if I really want to, get a really good length of pull on it and press it into my shoulder, I found it not really well at all. But normally, and you would, it's an AK, plastic brace, not going to work well. That being said, Midwest Industries, completely adjustable, length of pull. There we go. Completely adjustable length of pull on this bad boy. And it's a foldy, so the reason I like it, it's a foldy, so you can just push on it like any other one. And it folds to the side as such. And it gives you a nice complete package. And it'll be even more complete if you were to take the suppressor off. So definitely a plus here. Put this in a backpack, go on vacation, and you got a good bit of firepower with you. So that's the first thing I did. And when I immediately put the brace on, I found out the length of pull, my ability to get follow-up shots accurately on target was very much improved. So if you do get a ZPAP 92, get a longer brace or something that's more sturdy that improves your length of pull. You'll find that very helpful. Now, I have not done anything to the trigger here whatsoever because I found that another AK I used to like or wanted to do a build with was off of the PSA. And PSA AK triggers, they're like a squishy sponge. I cannot stand them. That is me, but I can't stand them. And so I was skeptical when I bought it. And first couple rounds, I was absolutely amazed. The trigger is very crisp, very clean, right about 5.5 pounds, 5-ish pounds, like you would a standard AR, so I found that very nice and very unexpected for me coming into the AK world. So points there. And also, it also did come with a rail attached to the top here, as you can see. And I've already put this is probably one of my favorite holographics that I run. I love it. For shorter builds, shorter distances, of course. But this is a Vortex Huey Gen 2. I love it. It works perfectly well on the AK because if you know anything about AKs, when you shoulder the weapon here, most stocks, as you can see, due to simply how the AKs are made, it's hard to get cheek well on a low-sitting optic or if you're shooting irons with a standard stock or a standard brace. So it's very hard to get cheek well and get proper sight picture. But being that the Huey Gen 2 it is already tall, plenty tall enough, that becomes a non-issue. Being that's holographic, you know, it's already definitely not a non-issue. I can shoulder the rifle, not even really get good cheek well, get sight picture, and get accurate rounds on the target. So it gets points for that. And then I got me a, can't pronounce it to save my life, but a Utkers UTG Pro Rail, Quad Rail M-Lock, and an AFG foregrip here from Magpul. Now, fun thing about this foregrip, I've had it for like 4 years. It's been on like 3 different rifles. Love it. Magpul knocked it out the park. But I find that very, very helpful because this gun is front end heavy, especially with a suppressor on it. So I found it very easy that when you're carrying it or you need to throw it up to get shots off, it rests perfectly right there. It's perfect, at least for me anyways. But also another thing is that if you're trying to get follow-up shots, being that it's an AK, a little more recoil, right, than an AR, and it's front heavy, especially with the can, when you're going to shoot, right, it comes up, but that front heaviness lets that barrel come right back down on target. So it's a beautiful gun for follow-up shots, how it's set up right now. And then on the side here, I have a Surefire Pro Scout right here. And no, I don't have a pressure switch because due to how I have it set up here, when I go to shoulder the rifle, you can see right here that my thumb's naturally resting position is here, here, or around the light. So all I have to do is just, and we're good to go. So that is what I have for the light on this gun here. And then to finish it all off, I have a Resilient Suppressors, I think it is Simple Man. Yeah, Simple Man 30 cal on the top. Now, downside to being an AK is that she is a gassy girl. She's very gassy. Wear your eye pro and wear it often if you're shooting it suppressed. But other than that, it's a little difficult also. I mean, there's companies that got reared in out there that being as an AK and it's an import from Serbia, that the threads are non-NATO standard. So instead of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, you have to get a reared-in device from, you know, Reardon, the company, which I got on here to match up with a NATO-style can. And I found that it works perfectly well. My local gunsmith, Heiko Firearms, give him a shout out. Go to the store. He's very knowledgeable, great guy. He's helped me tremendously with this build. I can't give him enough credit. So, and one more thing, if you're running subsonics, now I've only ran 255 grain subs through this thing, and it turns it into a bolt action, or a semi-auto if you would. Very slow semi-auto. That being said, I think that's personally, being that this does not have an adjustable gas block on here, I think it just doesn't have enough power to kick that bolt back. So I'm going to try in the future get some lighter subsonics if I can find them, or maybe get a different spring in here. You know, experiment with it if you would. But the 255 subs will turn your ZPAP M92 into a bolt action basically. That's the only downside I have. But even though, if you're shooting regular subsonics, I mean supersonics out of here with the can, it's very, very tolerable. I wouldn't call it, you know, hearing safe. You still need your ear pro, but it does make it very enjoyable to shoot. And I have shot this at night with the can on it as well. And couldn't get a video because, well, we broke over here. Don't have a good camera. But I do find that it kills the muzzle flash almost altogether. You have a couple, you know, spicy boys that come out, but overall for the flash suppression at night, I find it very, very good at doing that. So all in all, I think if you want a home defense gun, this will do it because it's a short, small platform, and you're, you know, 100 yards and in, you're slinging that 7.62 by 39 power out of this thing at a very accurate and controllable platform, at least how I have it set up with the length of pull. And I can't say this, I'll say this one more time and I'll stop. This thing right here with the brace, the Midwest Industry brace, and your length of pull, along with your holographic setup, or a optic riser if you would for a red dot maybe. It eliminates the cheek well, and it gives you better length of pull to run that trigger better. So all in all, this is the ZPAP 92 that I've made and or put together, if you would. And this thing is absolutely a beast, and I love it. It's probably going to cause me to get another AK. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you listening to my autism, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And as always, praise the Lord. Pass the ammo.